Two names that have terrorized humanity for millennia. Two entities so powerful that their very existence reshapes reality itself. But what happens when the ultimate forces of evil turn against each other? Today, we witness the most catastrophic battle hell has ever seen. Azazel, the weapon master of the abyss, versus Satan, the adversary himself. One will claim dominion over all darkness. The other will cease to exist. There can be no mercy. There can be no retreat. This is the war that will determine the fate of every damned soul. Satan, the adversary supreme. Before time began, before the first star ignited, there was perfection in heaven. And within that perfection stood the most beautiful, most intelligent, most beloved of all angels, Lucifer, the morning star. But perfection breeds ambition, and ambition breeds rebellion. Satan is not merely a fallen angel, he is the fallen angel, the architect of defiance. When God commanded all angels to bow before his newest creation, humanity, Satan's response shattered the cosmos. I will not kneel to creatures made of mud and breath. His rebellion wasn't just personal, it was philosophical. Satan believed that power should belong to the superior, that worship should be earned, not commanded. 1/3 of heaven's host agreed, and the war that followed burned across 7 dimensions. But here's what makes Satan truly terrifying. His fall enhanced him. While other demons lost their sanity in the descent, Satan retained his strategic genius. He didn't just create hell, he architected it. Every layer, every torment, every cruel irony was designed with surgical precision. Satan's power transcends physical destruction. He is the master of corruption, turning virtue into vice with whispered words. He can rewrite memories, manipulate time itself within his domain, and his presence alone can drive mortals to madness. When Satan wages war, reality itself bends to accommodate his will. His ultimate weapon? Not fire or brimstone, but doubt. Satan can make you question your deepest beliefs, your most sacred truths, until you willingly choose damnation. Azazel, the weapon master. While Satan fell through pride, Azazel fell through love, twisted, obsessive love for humanity. As one of the Watchers, his mission was simple: observe, never interfere. But watching humanity struggle with primitive tools, seeing them defenseless against the beasts of the world, Azazel couldn't remain passive. He descended to earth and taught forbidden knowledge, metallurgy to forge weapons, military tactics to wage war, even vanity, cosmetics, and jewelry to inflame desire. These weren't gifts of malice, but of fascination. Azazel saw potential in humanity that even God hadn't fully realized. His punishment was beyond cruel. Bound in the desert of Dudael, with jagged stones piled upon him, forced to watch as his teachings corrupted humanity into endless cycles of war and violence. Every murder committed with a forged blade, every battle fought with his tactics, Azazel felt them all. Centuries of torment transformed him from an angel of knowledge into something far more dangerous, an entity who understands that knowledge without wisdom is the deadliest weapon of all. When Azazel finally broke his chains, he brought something to hell that Satan never possessed: the ability to create weapons that could kill immortals. His forges don't just craft metal and fire, they forge concepts into reality. Blades of crystallized regret that can cut through time itself. armor made from compressed despair that renders the wearer immune to hope. But Azazel's greatest creation isn't a weapon, it's his philosophy. Where Satan rules through fear and corruption, Azazel offers empowerment through destruction. Why serve when you can surpass? This question has drawn countless demons to his banner, including some of Satan's most trusted lieutenants. The confrontation began with a single, devastating act of defiance, when Satan commanded Azazel to forge chains for the newest batch of fallen angels. Azazel's response sent shockwaves through Hell's hierarchy. "I forge weapons, not shackles. Find another slave." Those 7 words shattered an uneasy peace that had lasted for eons. Satan's rage manifested as literal firestorms that rained down upon Azazel's forges, but when the flames cleared, the weapon master stood unharmed, protected by armor that absorbed hellfire and converted it into raw power. The first strike came from Azazel, not against Satan directly, but against his symbols of authority. In a single night, every throne, every monument, every representation of Satan's dominion across hell was simultaneously destroyed by weapons that appeared from shadows, struck once, and vanished. Satan's retaliation was psychologically devastating. He invaded the minds of Azazel's followers, forcing them to experience every moment of his imprisonment in Dudael. Dozens of lesser demons collapsed, driven mad by centuries of compressed agony experienced in seconds. But Azazel had learned something during his torment that Satan never understood. Pain shared is pain halved, but pain embraced is pain transformed into strength. The final confrontation takes place in the Nexus, the point where all realms intersect, where the very concept of existence becomes malleable. Here, their battle wouldn't just determine Hell's ruler, but could potentially unravel creation itself. Satan strikes first with his signature move, the corruption wave. Reality turns inside out as virtue becomes vice, strength becomes weakness, hope becomes despair. But Azazel counters with something unprecedented, weapons forged from pure concept. A blade of absolute severance that cuts through Satan's connection to his own power. Armor of immutable truth that renders Satan's lies powerless. A hammer that strikes not at flesh, but at the very foundations of Satan's authority. The battle escalates beyond physical combat. Satan summons the combined hatred of every damned soul throughout history, manifesting as a tsunami of pure malevolence. Azazel responds by weaponizing knowledge itself. Every secret Satan has ever kept, every hidden weakness becomes a projectile of crystallized revelation. As they clash, hell itself begins to crack. Rivers of liquid time flow backward. Gravity reverses in random pockets. The screams of the damned harmonize into something that sounds almost like prayer. But then something impossible happens. At the moment when both entities are pouring their absolute maximum power into a final, reality-destroying strike, they simultaneously realize the same terrifying truth. They are being watched, not by demons, not by angels, but by something that exists beyond both concepts. The battle stops mid-strike as both Satan and Azazel sense a presence that makes their combined power seem like candle flames before a supernova. A voice speaks, not heard, but felt in the deepest parts of their essence. Did you truly believe you were the only experimentals? The revelation is staggering. Their rebellion, their fall, their eternal war, all of it has been observed, documented, analyzed by entities for whom concepts like good and evil are merely variables in a cosmic equation. As this truth settles, Satan and Azazel face an impossible choice: continue their battle and risk attracting the attention of beings who could erase them from existence without effort, or form an alliance against a threat neither fully comprehends. The battle between Azazel and Satan remains unfinished, suspended in a moment of cosmic horror that transcends their understanding. But perhaps that's the most terrifying revelation of all, that even the ultimate forces of evil can be afraid.
What do you think is watching them? Let us know in the comments below.